Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. Please enjoy this video on the Political Voices Network.
You wrote a great piece, as usual. Trump's promise to fire Jack Smith is a final warning. You said it's hard to hear this without recalling how another Republican president, Richard Nixon, tried this same maneuver as a last-ditch attempt to avoid having to comply with a special prosecutor's subpoena for what turned out to be incriminating audio tapes. Nixon's directive to fire then-special prosecutor Archibald Cox led to the Saturday Night Massacre when Nixon's attorney general and deputy attorney general resigned rather than carry out Nixon's order. So now you're talking about, it's recently been reported that Trump's transition team has none other than Judge Aileen Cannon on the short list to be Attorney General. So, and then essentially she's already fired Jack Smith, is your point, right?
Yeah, I would call this evil genius, but I will never use the word genius in connection with mentioning anything about Donald Trump. It is evil, though, because she has basically already fired Jack Smith by saying, yeah, special counsel is not a thing, even though every judge who has ever decided the issue said actually special counsel is a thing, is lawful, is constitutional. Even the Supreme Court said that in 1974 in substance.
Kind of weird. They had no problems about Hunter Biden's special counsel. Okay, go ahead.
Go figure. Yeah, inconsistency, again, not their strong suit. But, the good news is, Steph, it's never going to come to that.
Yeah.
Trump is going to lose, and Aileen Cannon will never be our attorney general. And as I say, we're about to come in to the light. I like our odds, and I like the way the early voting is playing out, at least according to the reporting. Women going to the polls in record numbers. How about the dang men go to the polls in record numbers to support the women? Their wives and their daughters and their nieces. Let's do it. Come on, let's all get out there.
And by the way, you tweeted, majority of Americans believe Trump's criminal cases should proceed to trial regardless of election's result because hashtag
justice matters.
Yes. Oh, how'd you guess? Yes. But, it's just this, okay, so this is, again, not a shock. Elon Musk did not attend a court hearing involving his $1 million daily giveaway to registered voters. He's in risk of being held in contempt of court. Philadelphia's top prosecutor accused him of conducting an illegal lottery. And I love this. Musk, the world's richest person, could face a fine. I mean, we've just created this Trump precedent that if you're rich, there no rules apply to you. You don't have to show up at court. And so, ouch, a fine's going to hurt him, right?
Yeah, and I sure wish that we didn't leave it to a district attorney for Philadelphia to try to take on Musk for his misconduct, his election interference. It would be nice if the federal Department of Justice got after him and didn't just write him a letter and shake their finger. Here's the thing. If the attorney general believed that he was doing something wrong enough to warrant a letter and a good finger wag, well, then it looks like the Department of Justice ought to take the next step and actually go after this mope and hold him accountable for what he's doing. Don't leave it to a district attorney for the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yep, agreed. And speaking of, you said Judge Aileen Cannon just can't quit Trump, refuses to step up Trump-related case of Ryan Routh. I mean, this is getting to be so. This other case, Trump just filed a bizarre $10 billion lawsuit against CBS and took care to file it with a controversial far-right judge that he appointed. It argues that the interview with Harris was something, editing, deceitful, something. Of course, CBS called the lawsuit completely without merit. It's like,
and can I echo the words of the federal judge who went after Ron DeSantis for his attempts to violate free speech rights down in Florida to try to stop women from voting for Amendment 4, which would protect in the Florida Constitution reproductive health rights. That federal judge said to Ron DeSantis and his flunkies in the Florida government, "It's the First Amendment, stupid." That's a quote from the federal judge. That is what I would say to Donald Trump in connection with this harebrained suit against CBS. It's the First Amendment, stupid.
Since Liz Cheney's back in the news, I'd saved this story for you because I just thought this whole, and the Mike Johnson secret plot, yada, yada. Mike Johnson recently said he and Cheney have agreed to disagree over whether Trump is a threat to democracy. And Liz Cheney said, no. I mean, there's no agreeing to disagree on the overthrow of the United States government and insurrection. And she recently said, I do not have faith Mike Johnson will fulfill his constitutional obligation. Period, right?
Yeah, we don't agree to disagree that gravity is a thing, right? And we don't agree to disagree on whether Trump Johnson and all of these Republican flunkies are a threat to not just the health of our democracy, but the viability of our democracy. That is where we are. But I'm going to keep saying it. I like our odds. We're about to come into the light. I fully believe that. And let them do their nefarious worst. What I hope is that there are no pockets of violence that erupt, even though you notice Trump has taken to wearing the Proud Boys colors recently.
Yes.
Oh, there's a subtle message about what he is inspiring the minute he loses the election. Again, come on, folks. Let's get this mope into pretrial detention where he belongs. Come on, sport.
Thank you. Yeah, not an accident he did the rally where Hitler did. Not an accident he launched his campaign at Waco. Not an accident he did his rally where the Tulsa race massacre was. I mean,
these aren't dog whistles; they're referee whistles.
Exactly.
Yeah. Since you're in our hometown of L.A., real quick, I got to get your take on the Menendez brothers. So Eric and Lyle said the what do you call lawyers for them? Wednesday said they have 3 routes to freedom. Mark Garagos, who I used to hang out with all the time in the OJ days.
I remember
back
that.
in the day.
Yeah.
We used to be CNN buddies. He said, so they're going to ask for their murder convictions to be changed to manslaughter. What do you think is going to happen? And our district attorney, I guess, has said he would.
Yeah.
That he is what? So what is your take on this whole?
Yeah. So here's my concern. Wrongful convictions are a sin that we need to eradicate. But I do fear that defendants with wealth, power, influence, and connections manage to win some relief in their cases to which they may not be entitled. I'm not immersed in the facts of the Menendez brothers case, but, I don't want to see folks win relief in their cases that is not warranted by the facts, by the evidence, but just happens to be available to them because they are products of privilege. Because I think that does a disservice to people who have been wrongfully convicted and who need to be actually exonerated because the system failed them.
If it were up to Donald Trump, the Central Park 5 would have been executed. So, you know.
Right. And also Gascon is up for re-election, and he's about 30 points behind.
Yeah.
So he may have been doing this for some publicity.
I know.
Can I say, I hope people will get out in the 41st Congressional District in Florida down in Palm Springs for Will Rollins over Ken Calvert. I just interviewed Will, and I think he is a big part about why we're going to flip the House.
Yes. A final point, both Lyle and Eric and Menendez are married and I am not. However, that might change tomorrow night. Maybe she's there. Maybe Glenn Kirshner's beautiful wife is coming. Doesn't she have a gay friend, sister, someone that looks just like her?
Oh, God.
Can't wait to see you.
Can't wait to see you. Thank you for ignoring that, Glenn.
Yes, thank you very much.
Beautiful picture of you and your beautiful wife. We love you, Glenn. We'll see you tomorrow night at LA's Sexy Liberals.
See you tomorrow.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.